So here's a video just showing you the new ultralight frameless backpack that I made. It's based loosely on the G4 backpack, which you can find instructions for online, and you can also buy a kit with all the materials and full-size pattern pieces from Quest Outfitters if you don't want to actually measure out all the pattern pieces and stuff. It's actually not that hard to do, and it's actually would be a pretty easy project for a first sewing project if you've never made any of your own gear, or don't know how to sew, or just know some of the basics. So if you want to get into making your own backpacking gear, the backpack is actually an easy place to start. You know, maybe you want to try to make a stuff sack or something first, but anyway, so the backpack is pretty easy to do. Anyway, yeah, so it's based on the G4 pack, originally made by Glenn Van Pesky, who went on to start Gossamer Gear, and they actually sell a version of the G4 pack commercially. But so I've made G4 packs in the past, and you know, they're pretty good packs, but for my uses they were pretty big, and I found I wanted a little bit more customization. So I went ahead and thought up a few things that I thought I could improve on, and went ahead and made this pack. So first of all, the main well, actually, so the materials that I made it out of are 1.9 ounce silnylon, so this is silicone impregnated nylon. This is the thicker stuff, the 1.9 ounce. It's actually really strong and waterproof as well. And for the main part, for like the bottom and the back, I used, this is a diamond ripstop from Seattle Fabrics. It's really strong, and it weighs about, I think, 4.4 or 4.5 ounces per square yard. So it's still pretty light, but it has this really cool like diamond pattern in it, and it's really smooth and abrasion resistant. It's a really great fabric. I would probably liken it to Dyneema X Gridstop that I know a lot of people use, because that's like the kind of ripstop stuff that you see with the black lines in it that a lot of companies use. But yeah, this diamond gridstop stuff is great, and it's urethane coated as well, so it's waterproof. So instead of mesh, I used this is a stretch kind of a lycra power mesh on the outside, so it's still really breathable, but it stretches. And I put this vertical, this is just some grosgrain ribbon that I put down the middle to split it up into two pockets. This is kind of reminiscent of the old school Dana Designed packs, where they had the two pockets in the front. In this pocket I put my tarp, and in this one I put a wind shirt. You know, and it's great. So I didn't like how the other ones were kind of bulging out of the bottom, and this just kind of helps keep its form. And I have two designated pockets for specific things. I changed the side pockets around a little bit. This is angled so that I can reach in and grab what I need during the day. It also has, the bottom is reinforced with the diamond ripstop, since it'll be close to the ground when I put it down. On the other side, it also has a smaller power mesh pocket instead of the big one in the G4. Yeah, I got some shock cord on the side. But then I came up with this design for a lid pocket. You know, a lot of minimalist packs don't really have lid pockets anymore. I don't know why. I think they're really useful. If you make them out of the right materials, they don't add too much weight, and you know, they're worth their weight in functionality, I think. So I went ahead and added a lid pocket. It's not a very high volume pocket, but I use it to carry my water bladder in. You know, I just couldn't find anywhere else on the pack to put the water bladder that I was comfortable with. I've tried it in a lot of different configurations, and you know, I figured if I just had a designated pocket for it, that'd be great. You know, I've tried putting it in the pack against my back, you know, on the outside pockets, side pockets, and nothing really worked for me. So I made this, and this works great. So it's a top pocket, and it has these just buckles that keep it in place. And you know, if you fill the pack up and you need it to be more secure. This also, I have a piece of shock cord here and a little loop here that you can just hook that onto, and it'll keep everything in place if your pack is full. Like if you just got it's like your first day out and you have a lot of food and a lot of bulk, or in the winter or anything. So the top of this pocket is the silnylon, so it's waterproof, but underneath this is just regular breathable 1.1 ounce ripstop. So since I'll be putting my water bladder in here, it'll have a lot of condensation on it and stuff, and I don't want it to have a lot of water be like stuck in the pocket and grow mold or anything. So this is made out of breathable ripstop so that it breathes. And then the main compartment just has this drawstring closure in the top. Yeah, it's pretty standard. Everything else on the back. So the hip belts, I made the hip belts a lot wider, at least an inch or two wider than the ones on the G4. The ones on the G4 were, I think, anecdotal at best. So so I made them a little bit wider, and I also made them kind of slanted so they actually cup your hip, so they'll actually sit on your hip bone and carry weight a lot better. And they just have a mesh on this side, a breathable mesh. Same thing on the other side. And I found that since the hip belt is wider and it kind of forms around your hip, I actually don't need any padding on the hip belt because it kind of conforms to your hip pretty naturally. And the shoulder straps, I added the sternum strap here, as well as load lifters. Since I carry my water on the top of the pack, load lifters are really nice to kind of move everything to my center of gravity and just make it a lot more comfortable. And I replaced the mesh pad holder pockets. So on the G4 they have like two mesh pockets, one here and then one here, to hold your pad into place. And I didn't like having to like stuff my pad into the pockets. It was kind of a pain. So I just went ahead and used just a couple pieces of shock cord, and it holds it into place perfectly. So I have two pieces of shock cord that go over to a lashing loop here, and just a piece of webbing on either side that I sewed that keeps the pad in place, with a couple of glide locks here. Yeah, and that works great. So yeah, I suggest, if you're making your own gear, go ahead and just play around with stuff and make modifications. Don't be afraid to modify gear that you bought either. It's yours, you bought it. Feel free to do anything you want with it. That's how I got started making my own stuff. But yeah, if you have any questions or any suggestions, leave a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching.